Hey, bourbon brothers and sisters, Angry Mac here, and today's craft journey is Crittenden's. Cut above takes me down to Kiln, Mississippi. Kiln, Mississippi. Why are we talking about Crittenden's? Because they're doing some great things. They're down there, Kiln, Mississippi. Matt Crittenden, apparently, he told me he is a one-man show, absolute one-man show. Talked to him on the phone for about an hour. What a great human being. Had a thicker accent than mine and was making fun of me, which I could believe it. And New York's we've got our own deal up here, especially where I am. But this is real craft industry, real craft distillery. Mississippi doing it right. And that's what we're going to look at today. This is great bourbon. Doesn't always come from Kentucky or Indiana or Tennessee. It does come from Mississippi. I have two bottles right here. I have the single barrel rye whiskey 7-year. Proof on this is 121. I just got this bottle recently, a few months ago. I haven't opened it. This is the single barrel bourbon whiskey cut above double oak. Brad from Brad Reviews just reviewed this a couple weeks ago, and he said, Mac, you are in for a real treat. So we'll be cracking that in a little bit. So, Crittenden, why is this important? First, we want to think about the area. The area down there, Kiln, Mississippi, believe it or not, was the world capital of moonshine. Yes, I know it's hard to believe. I say it all the time. Bourbon, whiskey, rye wasn't only in Kentucky. It was down there being sold and traded in that Gulf Coast area over the waters for years. During Prohibition, before Prohibition, after Prohibition. So what Matt and his father James did, and I think it was in 2015, 2016, they opened up a legal distillery. Legal distillery. So when someone tells you that it doesn't belong in Mississippi, it does. And they're doing great, great things down there. They have a large offering of products, which I'll get into in a little bit. But let's get a little bit about the story here. So 2015, James and his dad said, hey, let's do this. Love moonshine. Let's figure it out. Let's open up a distillery. And here's the kick in the behind. Matt Crittenden was a lawyer. So let's wrap our mind around that. He stepped away from law, and I'm sure it wasn't cheap to go to law school. I know what it costs up here in New York. Got a friend who's an attorney. Believe me, I hear about it all the time. Making some different kind of money, sitting at a desk, trying cases. He said, to hell with this. My heart, my passion is in the industry. I want to make some things, and I want to make some things here in the place I grew up, in the area I grew up, Kiln, Mississippi. So he said, let's figure this out. So we went, looked over at the distillery, and instead of importing and getting people from all over the country, he found local people to build a distillery, to build the parts, to get things going. And after the years, from what I understand, these people are family. And we all know family by choice is the best kind of family. You could be blood related to somebody. That really doesn't make you family. It just makes you a blood relation. Just saying, we all have them. But Matt Crittenden has some great family down there helping build up the business. So he left that, and that is so strange because a stable legal career, let's face it, you're always going to have work if you're a lawyer. This was a risk. And it is a cut above, and a cut above happens to do with the moonshine. It's a takeoff of the moonshine, a cut above. So he wasn't looking for venture capital when he was leaving there. He was looking not for celebrity whiskey. He was looking for something that he can call homegrown, where he was, and to be proud. Proud to be Mississippian, proud to be from Kiln, and he wants the people around there to be proud. And once again, I spoke to him, so I had a good sense of the kind of human being he was. One point he said to me, he said, hey, Mac, I'd love to send you something. He goes, but we're so far in the woods and so far away from everywhere, I'll forget. I'll put it aside. I'll forget, and like 3 months later, I'll see the package. He goes, I just don't have time to do it. He goes, he's really doing it on himself. Now, why is this such a great craft down in Mississippi? It really is grain to glass. I know I've spoken about a lot of different things. I know I've spoken about the sonic music, the boats, scientists blending, but real craft is a science in its own. He is taking the grains, mashing them on site. He's distilling on site. He's fermenting on site. He is aging in 53-gallon oak barrels on site. They are bottling on site. And here's the biggest point for Crittenden's. They do not bring in anything from anywhere else. Not a drop of liquid is coming from Kentucky, Indiana, New York, wherever you are, not a drop. Everything is coming there, soup to nuts. I'm surprised he doesn't have a glass blower down there blowing some glass for his bottles and figuring out how to make his own corks. Just saying, because that's the kind of person he seemed to be. He seemed to be all about the work and the passion to put into putting out some really great products. So let's get into some of the products, and I wrote some down. He's got a full line. From what I understand, the toasted pecan is out of sight. He has a line based on mythical creatures, and I've had one of those. I think it was called the Cotmopus. Can't remember exactly. It was just a little sample. But one of my favorite samples I've ever had from any distillery, he made one called the Boo Rye Row or the Boo Row Rye, something to that effect. My God, I wish I could get it more of this. But he's battling the same problem all these craft distillers are battling. Everyone. They're battling the shipping cost. So he is local, Mississippi, and I understand Georgia carries the product on the shelves, but you have to go through a company, Bourbon Outfitter. Bourbon Outfitter, very reliable, great shipping, but it's $20 to ship. You know, I spoke to the owner from Bourbon Outfitter, and he told me, he's like, Mac, he goes, we're barely breaking even on shipping. And their shipping is phenomenal. Pack rate, you never lose a bottle, wrapped up. You will make an order, it's in your house in like 3 days. It may as well be Federal Express. I'm surprised he's not jumping on a plane and driving it to yourself. But there is a reason Crittendens sells out all the time on Bourbon Outfitter. It sells out because it's fantastic. As I said, I've only tried 2 offerings. Both offerings were great. Again, Toasted Pecan, I hear, is their market brand. They made a blueberry, from what I recall, it was really good. So they're making bourbon, rye whiskey, special releases. You do barrel picks down there, bottle of bond offerings, and a lot of experimental finishes. It really is. Now, why should you buy it? I don't know. We're going to get into it in a second. But if you're ever down there in Mississippi, they offer tours. Stop in. Let's support the craft because they are going to become the backbone. So I actually got the razor blade out to cut this wax off. So we're going to try the Double Oak 5-year, 111.4 proof. Oh my God, the smell on this is great. Just pouring it out of the glass, it is fantastic. The color. The color is almost a root beerish sarsaparilla color. It's not really dark, but it's more on the brown. You could really see the oak. You guys probably can't see the legs from here, but the legs are fantastic. The nose on this is a decadent caramel cherry sweetness. This is everything that I would want from a double oak. I'm definitely smelling that caramel, cherry, vanilla. This is a classic. Maybe a hint of underlying light chocolate. Very, very inviting. And I use that word an awful lot because I feel like when you're invited to do something and it's positive, it's something you really want to get into. I'm really thinking that this Cut Above Double Oak is inviting. So they invited me in. Let's give it a taste. Oh my gosh. Yes, tons of maple, caramel, hints of cinnamon, cherry. Nice little prickly spice and heat, but not overwhelming. Comes down nicely. I love the way it coats my gums and my tongue. So this bottle shipped to you, if you were able to get something like this from Bourbon Outfitter, I believe, and don't quote me, would be in that $70 to $80 range, and that would include shipping, I think, give or take a few dollars. I haven't looked. This is a barrel pick from Oak and Cedar, friends of mine down in that area. They asked me if I want a bomb. I said, please, please, absolutely. So wrap it up here. What do we got here? If you find yourself in Mississippi, go visit Matt. Go visit Crittendens. Skip the gimmicks. Skip the gimmicks. Nobody's looking for allocated down there in Mississippi. Let's look for the craft. Let's support it. He is probably one of the biggest craft distillers down in Mississippi. Go support him. This is a distiller actually doing the work. He's shipping, he's labeling, he's bottling. As I said, I'm surprised he's not blowing the glass. He may be blowing the grass. I'm not sure. That's a whole different story. Go support your local craft. Find the people you love. Give them a hug. And remember, it's not about what's in the glass. It's who's sharing it. And today, I'm sharing it with you. Matt Crittenden, great stuff, man. Thank you very much. And Brad, you're 100% on this. Cheers, everybody.